Hello everyone, my name is Megaland7 and this is GameGet Episode 5, Nintendomania. As you can already hear, this video is going to be a bit different from my last couple episodes as I'm going to be doing live narration over the videos. I'm just trying to a new format for the videos, mix it up a bit. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm always willing to change the format of these videos to your liking, since you're the audience and I'm just the person creating the videos. They're made for you to watch. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the finds. Starting out, you always want to check out the toy section when you go to thrift stores like this, because things will sometimes end up here, even at a store where they normally put things behind the case, like this Game Boy Advance. You can see $2 written on the bag, it has a Breath of Fire in it. I was already planning on buying it. Brain games in the system, nothing huge. When I took it home, everything worked just fine. It is a great deal for $2. Another thing you always want to do when going out checking thrift stores is checking for the CDs, because you never know what you might find in here. Like right here, you see I found a San Francisco Rush 2049 for Dreamcast. How awesome. Oh, Tenchu 2. That's another thing you always want to do whenever you find a disc-based game, or at least its case, always open it up and check, because you're going to find a lot of times the disc isn't there or it's a completely different game. There have been a lot of times where I'll find something I really want, open it up, and the disc is gone or it's something else. I've seen plenty of empty Melee cases. I've picked up, Kingdom Hearts only to have it have like MLB, 2006 in it. You always want to check. And you see here there were a couple other PlayStation games, something that I really wanted. If the Tomb Raider 2 had its instruction manual, I would have picked it up because I have 1 and 3, but I don't have 2. But it's not a huge loss to not pick up that game. It's only worth about $4, about what I would have paid for it here. Although I like the Tomb Raider series, especially since the reboot, which if you haven't played the new Tomb Raider game, you should definitely check it out. I finished looking through the CDs, and overall, I just come to the conclusion there wasn't much there. Contemplated getting the Rush 2049 case just in case I find the disc, but left it. This was probably the best find I had in a while. Once again, in the toy section, I found bags and bags and bags of N64 games. I already found the system in another spot in the store and was carrying the system with me. But there was just a ton of bags of N64 stuff. As you can see here, the N64 had the expansion pack and it was $12.50, so it was definitely worth it. First bag of games, and each bag was like $8, had Mario Party 2, GoldenEye, Pokemon Snap, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Wetrix, Ridge Racer. This one bag alone for $8 is worth it. Second bag, Mario Golf, Blast Corps, Mario Kart, Indiana Jones. I saw Banjo-Tooie in there. NBA Courtside was probably the worst game in all of them. Bag 3 had Jet Force, Super Mario 64, Tony Hawk, Star Fox. Like I said, each bag was only like $8. So this was an absolute score. I haven't had a cartridge game score at a Goodwill like this in a long time. Yeah, see, $8 for the 10 games in that bag. They also had 2 controllers for $6, so $3 each for controllers. The sticks on them were okay, nothing to brag about, but $3 controllers. I paid about $50 for that whole stack right there. So here we have just where they normally keep the games. Always where I check first, just because it's the most obvious place for games to be. And you can see here I found a PlayStation 1 game, Spider-Man 2. Really fun game, came out really late in the PlayStation's lifespan. I'm pretty sure the PS2 was already out when this came out. But it's a really fun game. Check it out if you get a chance, especially if you played the Spider-Man game that was on PS1 and N64. Because it's a direct sequel to that. Great game, pick it up if you can. Checking out the electronics section at a different Goodwill. Just kind of looking around, seeing what I can see. And then I find this flight stick. I don't remember its exact name, but it caught my attention for having both a USB plug-in and a wall adapter. And then once I looked it up, it was a really expensive flight stick. So I didn't have a flight stick, so this was a great way to get one. Checking through the DVDs and game section at another Goodwill. I happened to pick up this copy of Ys Ark of Nepotism, I think it was. I never figured. I couldn't read the font, really. Like I said, always, always, always check the toys section. Systems will end up here, like a DS Lite. I didn't have a pink one, so I was really excited to see this. And for $5, I was definitely ready to buy it. But you know, if I can, I'm going to test the system first. Does it turn on? Hey, the green light. It turns on. Oh, oh, oh. This thing is busted. I shall be leaving this here. Now we're moving on to things I found at garage sales. I'm soon hoping to have a spy cam, but for now, I'm just going to have to do like a recap. First game I found at this one yard sale was Descent Maximum. Paid $3 for it. This kind of looked fun. Also picked up G Police. Mostly picked it up just because it was a game in a dual disc case or 2 CD case, whatever people call them. Everything here was $3, so I'm not just gonna keep saying this was 3, this was 3. Everything in this stack was 3. Spider-Man, Web of Shadows. Kind of regret picking up this one because I thought I didn't have it, and it turns out I did. So that was a bit of a waste, but oh well. Spy Fiction. Actually worth a little bit of money. I didn't buy it because of that fact. I bought it just because, you know, it's a spy game. It looked fun. Then after that, Resident Evil 4. The PS2 version I've always been told is inferior to the GameCube version, but wanted to go ahead and pick it up since it was pretty cheap. And you know, so far this is still looking like a pretty good stack of games, and it only gets better. We have Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Outrun is a really fun driving game. If you ever pick it up, if you ever see it, pick it up. Especially the Xbox version for 2006, really rare and expensive. And then Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, sealed. That one, sealed games for me, most part, I'd use as like trade bait, and that's exactly what this ended up being. This stack of games here, I paid $5 each. Orange box for $3.60. Definitely a fun game to pick up, although its Team Fortress 2 is way outdated now. And Left 4 Dead 2, so you know, a Valve package. Definitely worth it for $5 each. And I also, from the same yard sale, picked up Kingdom Hearts 2 for $5. It's just when I recorded this, I didn't have it with me at the time, and I didn't feel like going to get it just to record it. So at another yard sale later that day, I ended up finding this N64. It was sitting all by its lonesome, had 2 controllers with it, no cables. But when I opened it up, expansion pack. I asked the dude how much he wanted, and since it didn't have any cables, he let me have it for $5 for the controllers. And here are the controller. It's one gray one. Its stick is pretty loose. It's not the worst I've seen. It should still work fine, but could be better. And then this thing, third-party controller, and that stick is broken, like completely broken. Look how it just stays down when I like flick it any direction. Probably just use that for parts or just throw it away. So at the same yard sale, there was a sibling was selling games, and I picked up Mario 3D Land, Star Fox 64 3D, and these were all complete. Halo Anniversary. I paid, I believe it was $25 for all of these games, and Final Fantasy 13 2 Collector's Edition. Kind of hard to open. Another yard sale, got a bunch of filler GameCube games, Step Jam Vendetta. I got this stack for $2.50 each. Picked them up just because whatever looked the best in the pile. Cabela's Interest Hunt 2. Oh, and I also wanted to make sure that these games had, you know, their manuals. Because if I'm getting filler titles, I only want to buy filler titles once. Don't want to be like, oh, here's the disc, here's the case, here's the manual. Want it all at once. Spider-Man 2 is a game I highly recommend. Second time I'm saying it, but different Spider-Man 2. Highly, 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 highly recommend this game. It is one of my favorite games. And Crazy Taxi is also a good game as well. Manual's upside down for some reason. So you know why some of them more filler games. It's a pretty solid stack of games I picked up for $10 at a yard sale. Crazy Taxi and Spider-Man 2 both get my recommendation. Give them a try if you can. Different yard sale, picked this up for $2. It didn't have the manual. I know I just said about the filler titles, but I was already buying something from them, and it was this copy of Pokemon Crystal. It cost me $17, which is a bit more than I like to pay at yard sales, but $17 for Crystal is a good deal. Good deal, sorry. So that's all I picked up for this round. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video.